Hello, and welcome back to my channel. My name's Charlie. You might know me better as sci-fi fantasy writer C.E. Dorset or from my podcast, Project Shadow. And today I would like to talk to you about something that I've mentioned on a couple of my streams and in one of my prior videos called active imagination. This is a technique that I have used to really help me in my writing, but I do think you should be a little bit careful with it because it does give you access to deeper experiences within you. And so you might find yourself learning more about yourself than you wanted or revealing more about yourself than you wanted. So I want to kind of give you that caveat up front. Beware what may appear when you start doing this. To do this technique, I highly recommend that you get yourself some kind of either paper journal or some paper that you can write on. It really does, especially initially, work a lot better if you're not using a digital screen. So get yourself a notebook that you can write in or just some paper that you can write in. You'll, of course, need a pen or a pencil. I prefer a pen because the whole purpose of this project is to learn how to trust your intuition and to get in touch with the genius within you. And so you shouldn't be doing any corrections, at least not while you're in the swing of things. You just need to let go and be in the moment. Now, initially, we are not going to be working on a story. That is important to understand. We're going to have to start this with some internal work before we get to actually using this for our stories. We have to learn how to connect with our imagination within, so when we actually start using this with our fiction, we are ready for that. That's why I said be careful, you might learn things about yourself that you're not expecting. The easiest way to get started is if you remember a dream or if you have a particular image that is really important to you. If not, think of a figure of importance to you. It could be somebody that you have lost, a friend, a family member. It could be, depending on your faith, if you have one, a saint, an angel, a spirit, what have you, someone that you can visualize very clearly in your mind, that you can just bring an image to your mind about. And so we're going to begin by sitting down and centering ourselves. To center ourselves, we'll want to take a few mindful breaths. This is very easy to do. You can do it with your eyes open or your eyes closed. It all depends on you and what you find most useful. So breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. It doesn't matter how fast or how slow. I find personally when I do this that it helps me to, one, close my eyes, and two, to try to slow myself down because I tend to move at a quick rate. So let's do a centering breath together, shall we? In through the nose, out through the mouth. If you're feeling a little sluggish, you might want to do what the Tibetans call a lion breath, which is where you breathe in through your nose and then you make a sound with your mouth as you exhale, like so. It can be really invigorating and help you to get some vim and vigor back into your steps. So once you've gotten yourself centered, you may have to do that for a minute, 2 minutes, 10 minutes. Often at the beginning of my day, I will do about 15 minutes of just mindful breathing to get myself centered and ready for my day. Once you've gotten that done, you're going to pick up your journal and your pen, and you're going to open it. You are going to bring that image into mind that we talked about earlier, whether it's a person from a dream or someone else. And you're going to imagine yourself sitting across from them. And you're going to start asking them questions. Simple questions. Why are you here? What do you have to tell me? What is it that you want from me? Why are you here in my mind? Why do I keep thinking about you? Simple, straightforward questions. And write down the answers. Don't overthink it. Don't think about it at all. The whole point and purpose of this is to access your unconscious mind and to allow that unconscious image to speak to you in the way that it's wanting to actually do it. This has been a very helpful technique for me in dealing with my PTSD and with my depression and anxiety. But I am not a doctor, so please, if you're consulting a therapist or in therapy right now, please ask your therapist what they think about this. Some therapists do not like Jungian psychology. This is something that has worked well for me. I just feel like I should give you warnings because this will bring up a lot of internal dialogue and for me, help me work through it because I'm able to take that inner thought and put it outside of myself, and in externalizing it, have a conversation with it so that I know where I want to go in the future. It really helps me out a lot. So once you have done this, and I recommend that you do it for 15 to 45 minutes a day, every day. That's important. 15 to 45 minutes of this automatic writing every day, connecting to the voice, connecting to that spirit within. This will help you to forge that connection between yourself and your unconscious mind, which is where your stories reside. It's where your muse is. It's where the story is wanting to come from. As you do this, you should notice the technique becoming easier and easier for you to slip into when you are doing this. Now, when it comes time for writing, you already have developed this relationship with your unconscious mind, with these imaginal images that exist within you, and you will be able to invoke them much easier on the page. When I sit down to write, the first thing that I do is I think of the viewpoint character that I'm going to be talking about in this chapter. And then I ask them, so what did you do this day? And then I follow them on the adventure of their day. It's been amazingly refreshing, and I've written more this month than I have in a very long time. I used to do this by accident when I was a kid, and I don't think that that's odd. As we get older, we tend to put more limits and limitations on ourselves that keep us from being able to actually access our imagination in ways that would be healthy and helpful to us. So in a lot of ways, for me, when it came to using this technique while writing, it helps me reconnect to how I was as a kid, where I had this healthy relationship with my imagination, with those imaginal images within me, and they were able to flow so much easier. And that's all I'm wanting to help you with. So that's my active imagination technique that I use while I'm writing, and also for my daily life. I've been keeping journals like this for quite some time, and have learned quite a lot about myself and my beliefs and who I am as a person. I find it extremely helpful and handy. I hope that it helps you out, and if you have any further questions, leave them in the comments. I may do a future video on this to answer them, or I'll just try to answer them right there. Before we leave, I would like to thank my new patron, Lauren. Thank you so much. It means the world to me that you decided to help me out and become one of my patrons. If you would like to help me out and support the channel, you can do so down in the doobly-doo. You'll find links to both my Ko-fi and my Patreon account. You'll also find links to my writing, world building, and my podcast, Project Shadow. And I would love to have you over there as well. We do a lot of fun things. And you can always send in a voice message over there to get your question answered, like Lauren did for this week's episode on podcasting, how to do it, why to do it, and some tips on technology that you should buy, use, and various techniques to get good sounding audio from your recordings. Alrighty, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, as always, Black Lives Matter, Black Trans Lives Matter, and in everything that you do, even if it's protesting, don't forget to have the fun. Bye.